Lunchbox is brought to you by Gulfstream Park.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome fave with shafafa on the side.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our Friday Fun Day edition from 10 Palms at Gulfstream Park. And looky here, I am in a great mood because nothing puts me in a better mood than winning money, and I've been winning money today, and also puts me in a good mood seeing my old buddy, Sun Sentinel, Dolphins columnist, former colleague of mine, all-around great guy, Chris Perkins. Welcome back to the Lunchbox live and in the flesh. How are you?
Man, I'm doing great. Look at this company I'm surrounded by, man. How can I not be doing well? I've got delayed vacation plans, but I'm happy. I am happy.
That's good.
Because look who I'm with. How can I not be happy?
And Defo, have you ever seen me happier than when I
have never seen you like this. Normally, Lubie knows this. We don't speak to you before the show. You're likely to snap, and we're thinking, where's this coming from? Lubie and I have been doing this for 50 years. Here's Mayo comes in here. All of a sudden, he's got an attitude. And you couldn't be any happier than you were today. Chris Perkins also is the Cato Kalin of modern American radio because he was always America's guest. We were happy to have him on any show. He makes any show a pleasure, and it's good to see him, man. He looks great.
Yeah, I just want to live up to that title.
That's a very effective use of the Cato Kalin name from the vault of past American, I guess, what would you call it? Minor league.
He was an actor,
15
like
minutes of
actor,
fame.
yeah.
B-list celebrities. B-list
Yeah.
celebrities.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, he
Yes.
acted.
Americana.
So, well, before we get it, man, we've got a lot on the agenda today, and we've got a lot of food in front of us here, and I'm very excited because even though Joe Beja, our friend, the great executive director of hospitality here, is still away in Florence, he's been touring Italy.
He's been making me jealous all week.
I love.
He's having a
seeing
blast over there. I'm so
his
happy for him.
He's there for a long
Facebook
time, too.
post.
Nice.
And I think he's going to be there much longer. We're making
He
book
may
on
not come
him
back.
never returning and him just staying with his daughter for her summer study session at the University of Florence. And but no, I guess in his stead, we are going to be joined later in the show by the new executive chef here at Gulfstream, Jason Gluce. And that is coming up later. And we've got beautiful treats here in front of us. We've got a little sushi, a little pasta with shrimp. We got some sliders that came out impeccably cooked, nice and medium rare.
Yeah.
And I'm still on my health kick here.
You've been doing very well.
But I'm trying not to be
Nice.
insufferable. I got a beautiful Greek salad and a shrimp cocktail. And I'm not going to discuss the carb content or the fat content. I am going to discuss how I actually am getting things right today in the world of gambling. And this portends,
You're on your game, which you get on these streaks every now and then.
and let me indulge just for a little bit. I hit a race earlier in the week at Royal Ascot. I love Royal Ascot. It's one of the premier race meets in the world. King Charles and Queen, what's her name? Priscilla?
I don't
Camilla.
even keep up.
Camilla
Yeah.
Elizabeth
Holy
checked
Camilla.
out, right?
Well,
Was she the
Elizabeth
queen?
checked out,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's gone.
But anyway, I hit like a
Very
20.
sensitive, by the way.
And the girlfriend is not a queen. I mean, give me a break. Yeah.
I funded
Camilla
my
Parker.
online account with $10 whole dollars I was able to find earlier in the week, and I hit a $2 win bet on a 28-1 shot.
Ugh.
I then pulled out the $10, so I'm already playing with house money. I kind of let that dwindle down. I had $2.55 in the account going into the third race today, and somehow I pulled a trifecta, including a favorite, a mid-price, and a second choice, first, second, and third, a $2 bet. I got back $243, and I'm just rolling in it now. And then going into the Gulfstream race, I played Defoe's numbers, 5-7, and lo and behold, the 5 comes rolling down the stretch here at. We thought it was when I bet it was like 5-1. Then it went to 9-1. Then it went off at 17-1.
A beautiful.
And I managed not to have any win money in a situation like that. I actually had win money on it. So, and now I'm alive, and this is the important part for everybody out there. I know that you're bored to tears. The Panthers in 6 before the series. I put my $5
You
on
actually put
my
money on it.
Hard Rock
Nice.
betting account, getting 5-1. So I could take. I could take. I could cash out tonight. If the Panthers managed to win in Edmonton, and a lot of people, including
Well, most of them
Everybody
picked
had the
it,
Panthers in 6.
And then
Did
they
you
went
have
up
them in 6?
3-0. I mean,
Oh no.
Which implied that they would lose 2 games and then clinch the thing in Edmonton.
I
So
thought they would lose maybe
this
the
is
second
exactly
game,
what everybody thought
and
was
the
going to happen.
fourth game. I didn't anticipate winning 3 in a row and then losing 2 in a row. Nevertheless, I have a shot of cashing out that ticket and turning 5 into 30, which would continue my winning. I think the signs are pointing in a good
Man.
direction. What
I
do you
hope it
think,
stays
Chris
that way through
Perkins?
tonight.
I think I want to touch you and get some of this luck first of all. So let me get that out of the way. I hope it rubs off.
I hope that Val doesn't get jealous. He wants to touch me.
Exactly. Show me where on the Mike Mayo dog he touched you.
Right in the hot spot.
That's
there.
right. Look, I'm not a hockey fan. You guys know that, but I have become a Panthers fan since I started covering them a couple of years
Yeah,
ago.
you did, right?
I thought this was going to be a butt kicking. I thought Panthers in 5, but I
Interesting.
think that right now is probably where it should be. Right, that
Mhm.
save for the Panthers winning those first 3, but it was probably I think hockey people knew it was going to go 6. Right, I thought it was going to go 5. So I guess it's where it should be right now, except we just didn't expect. The Panthers to win 3 straight and then lose back to back.
2 straight. Yeah.
All of Canada is a buzz about Connor McDavid, and this is a guy who has been a superstar, a league MVP 3 times, but he's never won the big one, never really gotten far in the playoffs. And what he's shown the last 2 games is that he's flipped the switch, he's involved, and even though you don't think of hockey as being necessarily a sport dominated by 1 or 2 players, because it's not like basketball where they're on the floor for 40, 45 minutes. These guys are only skating, 1-minute shifts.
Yeah.
But, man, has he asserted himself the last couple of games, and that's the scary part for Panther fans, right?
As a hockey novice, I had not seen an entire Connor McDavid game until these Stanley
same
Cup
here.
finals.
Yep.
I mean, the stick work and the speed.
The
And
speed.
I'm speaking as a novice. I don't know, how he compares to Gretzky or Sidney Crosby, but this dude, from what I see, absolutely amazing. I thought the Russian Rocket, Pavel Bure, was fast. McDavid, I mean, he just snakes. He breaks down the defense. It's incredible. Again, as a hockey novice, this dude is incredible.
Well,
but I've been told that he is that guy, that he is that player for the ages.
No, yeah. Well, a lot of people say, some say he could be better than Gretzky, which I find hard to believe. If you look at the stats that Gretzky put up, it was just stupid. The stuff, it was like Babe Ruth compared to the field of his era. Like Gretzky's stats, he would double what he would do in goals and assists would lead the league. Like Gretzky was just on another level. I hate when they sort of do that, but McDavid's right there. What I'll give him credit for is, unlike Gretzky, who was like Dion in the sense that he was not physical. And he literally always had someone protecting him, even in an era where physicality was king. McDavid is not scared to mix it up. That's the one thing I will give him. He's not Barkov in the sense that he's the best defensive player at his position, but he plays defense. He hits people. He mixes it up. He gets in the middle. And I'll give him credit because Sid the Kid was never known for that. And Gretzky was the opposite. Gretzky was sort of soft when it came in that regard.
I think Defo mentioned the other day that he reminded us of Eric Lindros. And I think that's
He does in a little way.
It's Lindros-esque.
Tough. I mean, stronger than everybody else. I don't know that Lindros was faster than everybody else.
No, he's built like a linebacker,
Yes.
though. And Connor McDavid.
but overpowering, overwhelming.
Yes.
I mean, when he makes those spin moves, he looks like Dwight Freeney out there.
Yes.
Chris can relate to that with a football reference, but
I think
he
Sarni
definitely
said he looks like Oksana Bayul. Was that a figure skater? But
what happened to
Nice.
Sarni, Chris? Can you tell us? I mean, you worked with him for many years, no?
I have no idea.
Is he all right?
I am not going to
I have
speak
no
ill
idea.
of Jim
No,
Sarni.
this is not
Yeah,
ill. It's just
He's-
we're wondering what happened to him.
No, the man is beautiful. He's our ace field producer now,
Yeah.
leg man. He got us involved with the Federal and the new Panthers training facility out there at
All right.
Holiday Park at the Iceplex. We had a great show there on Tuesday. Gave ourselves a Kanahara by having those empty champagne glasses. So there's no empty champagne
you.
glasses. I don't know if this is bad because Val got me this
Well, your
beautiful
Kachuk
shirt.
round shirt worked, so I don't mind you wearing the shirt. The
But now
champagne
I've got-
glasses were too much.
I'm breaking out a new shirt. This is something Val got
The good
me.
news is it fits, and you didn't have to go double XL.
It's very good.
That's a definitively good trend.
Straight up XL.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll be down to
To
an
L.
L by the end of the year. But I don't know. Again, it only says playoffs.
Yeah, that's fine.
But
Playoffs
there
is
is
not
a
generic.
replica,
The cup.
a cup. a
Yeah, but it
Stanley
didn't say
Cup.
Eastern Conference champions.
Right.
Like my dumbass dad who wanted to buy that shirt, and I'm like, Dad, they were up 2-0 at the time. I'm like, I'm not buying you that shirt right now. I'm born and raised from you, the two of the most superstitious fans in the world, you and my mom, like we wouldn't move from our seat for 4 hours if they started winning in that seat. My mom would go to the kitchen to get a drink. If they scored any of our teams, she would never leave the kitchen until the game was over. So I'm not buying you that shirt. This is a generic playoff shirt. That's fine.
It feels very comfortable. I'm going to wear it tonight. And my analysis is this. All of a sudden, it is now the Oilers who are feeling pressure because they're back home.
Well, I don't know if they feel pressure. They're feeling cocky. I don't think they're feeling pressure. I think they're feeling themselves, and that was the Panthers' problem when they won 3 in a row.
Is that not the most ridiculous sports question? You deal with this all the time.
Who feels
Who's
the
the
pressure?
If the Oilers lose, they're finished. So there's pressure there. And
Yeah.
if the Panthers lose, then they're choke city.
Yes.
So there's pressure there. I
Yep.
mean, so who's the pressure really on? I don't know.
Both.
I mean,
Well-
it's one of the dumbest questions I think you could answer in sports. I really believe that.
Thank you very much. I think Rory McIlroy.
You
was
were in sports.
Yeah,
How do
yeah,
you- yeah.
I think it's legit. I think it's a legit
thank
question.
you.
I think
Thank
it's
you,
a legit
Chris
question.
Perkins. I think Rory McIlroy felt
Yes.
pressure when he was all of a sudden
Oh,
2
how does
shots
that
up at
happen,
the U.S.
man?
Open, and then
Wow.
he yipped and choked his way
Man.
out of
Maybe
the
so, but I mean,
tournament.
in this game, I mean, how can you assess who's under more pressure?
Because,
Well,
one
I feel
team
like
either
both
has to
are.
go to a
Here's-
7th
I
game,
feel like both are.
let me explain.
Yeah.
or the other one's out.
Canada, no Canadian team has won a Stanley Cup since 1993. All of the hopes of the Canadian peoples are on the
peoples?
Oilers. Yes, the
Mhm.
peoples of Canada.
The peoples.
The
Yes.
peoples of Canada.
The good people.
Thank you.
The
And we got
peoples.
fish tacos.
Oh, that's me. Yeah,
So
thank
I
you.
guess now that they've come to life, and now people in Canada are giddy about maybe actually bringing this thing to a game 7. Now all of a sudden, people, that the hopes of a nation riding on one team and especially one superstar player is sometimes then the pressure gets felt when they were playing, just rolling the dice, feeling loose the last 2 games.
Yeah, and I think that's why they
Back
played so
home,
well.
now everybody expects them to tie it up. But
Yes.
who the hell knows? You're right. It's
Yeah.
stupid.
Well, no,
We'll see what
I
happens.
think everyone
I'll-
feels pressure. It's the freaking Stanley Cup Finals. Like, and if you don't feel pressure, then go home. Like, well, and look, but I'm not going to lie to you. The Panthers started to play a very different kind of hockey in Game 4, and I don't know if they felt pressure. I felt the opposite. It felt like they sort of were resting on their laurels, and Connor McDavid took full advantage of that, and that is also what extended into Game number 5. But it also felt like a switch was clicked for the Panthers when they realized, okay, we got to get back to playing our game. We have to get back to getting after it, and from that point on, McDavid, Draisaitl, whoever the hell it was, did nothing. They did nothing for the last 30 minutes.
I think the Panthers are at the point now where they're just ticked off and say, all right, enough of this
I hope
BS.
so.
Let's-
I hope so.
Let's get back to ourselves. Let's not. We're in. Just
Hit him in the mouth.
And
Who are you going to have bang the drum in Game 7? You're a South Florida sports guy forever. I mean, I mean, I love Big
McDaniel do
Jack,
it for
but I
game
mean,
1.
Big Jack wasn't exactly Ginger Baker out there. I mean, that
No,
was
no,
one of the weakest.
You got to go back to McDaniel, right, for game 1.
So go back to
Daniel
the
was
same-
great because
From game one.
he hit the thing and then he
Yeah.
listened for the crowd.
no.
So
I
I mean,
know.
Zoe was coming out of like prostate cancer, so you could excuse him not being overwhelmingly, effervescent.
Well,
Who's your
listen,
choice?
I mean, if you were going to
he's gonna
if you were going to pick
down
the definitive
Marino on
choice,
this. Yeah, he doesn't like Marino.
oh no, I'm picking Pat Riley
Riley.
There you
or
go.
Spo. Like
Riley.
I'm taking the proven fact.
See, that's I said Spo because he won a lot,
Yeah, but
and
Pat
he's
is the
supposedly been highly
godfather.
involved in the
Like,
Panthers.
South Florida sports.
Will
Now
Riley
that
do it?
Shula
That's
is
the problem.
gone, God
Riley
bless
would
him.
beat him out.
And
Yeah.
I think
Would Riley do it? That's the thing.
Riley would bring ferocity.
Dude,
no,
Riley
Riley
would
would
bring
get after it.
intensity.
Do we
Like,
bring
people
out the
would-
Mick? Do we
people
break out
would-
Mickey Emerson?
This- this-
Oh no,
this-
Mickey's
Emerson?
too soft.
No.
This is Riles, dude. Game 7 is
Riley-
Riles.
he-
Game 7 is Pat
Devo said Riley, but I
Pat
don't know if
Riley.
Riley
You
would
got to
do
bring
it.
out Riley.
I am with
7.
you. Okay.
Yeah.
And the only reason I love Dan Marino, I respected
He
his
didn't
ability.
win, so you don't want that rubbing.
You must
off.
have had a run
When
in
you're
with
going
Marino.
into a high pressure game
Yes.
7 of a
Yes.
franchise that's never won it all, do you
Yes.
want the drum banged by the guy who's never won it all?
No.
That's it.
You-
Okay.
You don't?
You want the most fierce SOB
It's all
on
about
the South Florida
symbolism.
sports scene.
The
Right.
symbolism.
And the crowd will feed. The crowd
Oh,
will.
if Riley was
Riles
there,
is
they would
here.
lose their mind.
Right.
Mayo acts
Riles
like
is here.
Marino would be booed in this situation.
That is not true. Everybody loves Dan, except CBS sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
See, look Riley or Spoelstra to me because that was the franchise that has carried South Florida sports for the last 25 years. And they're both seem to like connect well with the other. Like I know Spoelstra talks with McDaniel. I know Spoelstra deals with the Panthers. They're really good at cross pollinating. I just don't know if I could see Spo doing it. I don't know if Riley.
What about
Riley's-
Jeff Conine? Jeff
Yeah,
Conine.
exactly. Riley sort of has hung back the last few years. So like I don't know if
Yes,
he's going to
but-
do that.
This would be the occasion, right?
You gotta
For
break
game
out
7.
Riley. You gotta
Then
break
get
out Riley.
Riley.
For game 7,
I
when
don't
you
want
were
game
when you were on your back, when you have lost 3 in a row,
Yeah.
you got to bring out Pat. You can't mess around with Spo. You got to bring out
What if
Pat.
they
I'm with you.
busted out
You gotta
Dwayne
bring out
Wade?
Pat.
What if D Wade showed up?
Not as big as
Nah,
Riley.
nah.
He's just
Pat.
saying, well, if you
Not
can
as
get
big as Riley.
Riley,
This is
you
like
go
right.
Riley.
This is
Yeah.
Pat.
Yeah.
This
Right.
is Pat. Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're in the realm of hypotheticals, and I say, God, I don't want to see a game
Just finish
7.
tonight.
No.
Just finish
I
it
love
all.
Defo. I want
Let
them
me
to finish
win my $30, my little
I'll tell you
$30.
freaking
Exactly.
$30.
That's all he
Pay
cares
another
about.
I'll
bill.
pay your $30. I just want
It's
them
all
to
about
win.
Mayo.
Then
Oh,
that's
look at
how
this.
you could buy another book at FSU because
$30 won't get you a
and
book.
my daughter did drive up to Tallahassee. They're about
Wait a
to
minute.
roll into town right
I think
now.
Joe Beja has just blown away Chris Perkins here.
There we
All
go.
right, it's the fish tacos.
I don't know if
Wow.
Joe.
Two blackened and one grilled.
I hope Joe is at the Uffizi
Excellent.
and is not like watching the show.
No, he's
but if
not
he
watching.
He's
will
probably
watch
at
it some point.
the swap shop there in Florence, where you
That's
buy
right.
the leather jackets.
Pontevecchio.
Right.
Yeah.
Pontevecchio,
Yes.
the
That place is
bridge with
great.
all the leather and the
Good deals on that too.
Artisan.
I mean, good deals.
And I'm sure he's
It's better than Tijuana.
Yeah,
It really is.
Florence. Yes. And did you see Sarni sent me a very funny picture of at these Euro soccer matches now? There's I guess food battles going on about
Oh.
fans are showing up like the the Italy-Spain game yesterday. Somebody showed up with a sign saying pasta is greater than paella.
Oh,
see,
yeah.
I love
with
that.
with the symbol for greater than.
Yeah.
Paella is
man.
good, but it's
And-
not
I
pasta.
love that. You know what? I've been trying to get people to do like the food battle. If you're going to watch the game tonight,
Right.
what
Yes.
would be the food battle? Would it be stone crab against
Yeah, but
whatever?
what does Edmonton have?
I
Edmonton,
don't know.
I was
But
asking
gotta
Dave
have some
Hyde
fish,
before
right?
he actually made his way to Edmonton because he got waylaid and
Yep.
delayed. But I was like, what is the food thing that Edmonton is known for? And then he just sent back a text saying caribou.
I don't
Could
know.
be.
Right. I don't know. When I worked at the Athletic, I once introduced the Dolphins schedule with a beer, a craft brew beer from the hometown of every opponent.
Oh, interesting.
And so, yeah, just something different to do. But yeah, we should do Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Do the when you have your Super Bowl party, some food from both
Right.
cities.
Now,
that should
stone
be a
crab is
catching
not
thing.
in season,
No, it's not.
but I would assume you could just get a nice piece of like grouper or
Mahi
mahi.
mahi.
You're
I would say
right.
mahi-mahi,
Fresh
yeah.
fish. Yeah.
Yeah, fresh
Yeah.
fish versus
Snapper and
fresh
Moose.
caribou
Yeah,
or
right,
moose.
right,
Yeah,
exactly.
maybe
Exactly.
some elk thrown in for good measure.
Would Edmonton, could they go 7 games deep in food? Like we'd
No,
have to research
hell,
that.
we can't get to
Okay.
2
Would it be a
games.
sweet?
They got one food.
We can't get to 2 games.
Whale blubber. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, maybe some
Whale.
whale blubber.
Right, yeah.
And they probably have to, beg, borrow, and steal some poutine from
Poutine,
over
it's not
across
even
the
from their
country
area.
in
Right.
Quebec. And
Right.
it's like,
Well,
I think
they could sneak down to Seattle and go across the
Some
border and
salmon.
get something. Yeah,
I don't know what. All I know is that we have them slaughtered in the food, beverage,
yeah.
and entertainment department. I don't know if they have casino gambling. I hope they do in Edmonton. 'cause
Yeah, I don't know.
can't imagine what else they do
Yeah, yeah.
during the winter.
You
time.
rarely hear anybody here mention that they're vacationing in Edmonton.
No,
Whereas I would imagine these Edmonton people were loving the chance to come to
Yeah,
South
you kidding me?
Florida for a couple of days.
This is very true.
Yeah.
No finer point.
They
has
had to
been
be
made.
overwhelmed. I mean, think about it. You talk about the restaurants, and I was just looking in a small radius. You were talking about all these restaurants going out of business, and it's kind of sad. And it really is amazing to think that all of these restaurants can be supported here in South Florida. I was rolling by a place the other day that I'd seen some favorable reviews on Let's Eat South Florida called C. Mario. It's an Italian joint on like Cypress Creek Road. And it looked very attractive from the outside. I'm looking at
Cypress
it going, I'm thinking, how does this place? I mean, it's sort of off the beaten path. I mean, it's got to be tough to compete. And there are 20 good Italian restaurants, like I said, in a 3-mile
Very
radius.
good chef, and that was the chef that used to be at Sunset Catch along one of those hotels.
Oh yeah,
there.
yeah.
And he's a brother with my buddies that used to be at Casarecchio, and that was Vinny and his brother. I don't know his brother's name, but heard nothing but great. Have you been there to see Catch?
I haven't been to see Mario.
See Mario. I'm sorry. Yeah.
But it looked really attractive, and I'm looking at the time I blew by there, it was maybe 7:00 in the evening. No cars outside, nothing.
That sucks.
And
But
I'm
it
thinking-
does. Okay, it's a small place, and it's all about the overhead. I'm sure they got a
but
good deal.
very good, very good reviews on Let's Eat South
My
Florida.
buddy went there. The Sheik went.
Edna
with-
Rosso, I mean, very good reviews. A lot of places that you would like to try, and you're thinking,
Hey, let's.
how do all these places, stay alive here? It's unbelievable. Edmonton, they're gonna have what? One restaurant, maybe?
Yeah, one restaurant. Everybody goes there.
That's
And
it,
They
yeah.
order the whale
They got
blubber
a
on the
Cracker
side.
Barrel.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
I'll
Like
have the
Give me a
whale
whale
blubber.
blubber appetizer, the whale blubber entree, and the whale blubber dessert.
Give me a caribou burger with a side of whale blubber and some poutine, please.
You would
exactly.
just as soon be on Deadliest Catch.
And
Just be a deckhand.
A Molson Golden. All right, let's take our first break. And
What
then we'll
about the
come-
contest?
Yeah, we're going to get to the contest after
Oh.
the first break. We've got to keep the trains moving here. And speaking of fine Italian food, how about our friends at Casa D'Angelo? 3 locations, one just south of here in Aventura, where my good buddy Giovanni Rocchio is now the executive chef, and he is spinning some of his classic pastas. Of course, there's the original flagship. Angelo Massimova is the executive chef and does tremendous work there. And the one in Boca, where Ricky is the chef. All 3 fantastic, great place for celebrations, whether it's a birthday, retirement, anniversary, graduation. Go in to Casa D'Angelo and tell them the Lunchbox sent you. The finest food, service, and atmosphere. And oh my God, that wine list is unbelievable. Go in there today and tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
That's it?
Yeah, let's take our first.
All right, we're going to take a break. Chris Perkins. How about Chris
Perk.
Perkins being in Perk? And we're coming back to Gulfstream Park in a moment.
Prezzo Italian Restaurants, 2 locations, Boca Raton at Park Place on Military Trail and Palm Beach Gardens in the PGA Commons on PGA Boulevard. Contemporary Italian cuisine with house-made pastas, wood-fired pizzas, salads, veal, chicken, and of course their famous focaccia bread with oven-roasted garlic bulbs. In Garlic We Trust is their slogan, and you can trust Prezzo for a great experience with gracious service and tremendous value. Open 7 days, featuring brunch, lunch, dinner, and happy hour. Great wine deals and full bar at both locations. For reservations and more information, go to eatprezzo.com. One of the best restaurants in Broward, J&C Oyster in downtown Hollywood. At 2035 Harrison Street, this place is fantastic and worth a drive. It's got creative, cutting-edge seafood and more with an Asian twist and gorgeous cocktails. Chefs Raheem Seeley and Monica Dominguez cut their teeth at some of Miami's best restaurants. Don't miss some of these fantastic dishes, including grilled oysters, fried chicken, and the Thai red curry crab. Open Wednesday through Sunday for dinner with daily happy hour and outdoor seating. Go to jncoyster.com for reservations and information. Tell them Mike Mayo's Lunchbox sent you. Are you looking for a good New York style slice? How about lunch specials for under $9 that come with garlic rolls and a fountain drink? I'm talking about Stromboli Pizza Kitchen in the Fountains of Plantation, 801 South University Drive. Since 1987, it's been home to Brooklyn-style pies and slices, heroes and paninis, pastas, and all your Italian-American favorites. It's got the unpretentious vibe of the pizza places of my youth with daily specials, family dinners, outdoor seating, eat-in, carry-out, or delivery. Open 7 days a week. Go to strombolispizza.com to place your order today. Caught me by surprise. I got a little bit of half a slider in my mouth. Those are good.
Excellent. I mean, there's a really nice char on that burger. That's
Really?
like the first thing that you taste when it comes to your mouth is that nice char. Very well cooked, great bun, nice seasoning there, and the pickle.
Nice. Yeah,
Excellent burger.
Put
Excellent.
together well. And again, we're with Chris Perkins. Defo is off betting the daily double somewhere. Lubie is here, and we're at 10 Palms at Gulfstream, our Friday fun day place. And give me a mini review on the fish tacos. How are those?
The fish is excellent. Grilled fish and nice little crust on it, so you get that kind of contrast with the texture and the soft tortilla there. Very nice flour tortilla and this relish. This
yeah, it's kind of
it's
Tell me he's not
pico de
ready to make the
gallo and,
conversion.
Yeah, he's doing the whole thing.
Yeah,
no,
me and him,
excellent.
we've eaten some good spots on
Yeah.
the road, and we've had some cookouts. The man appreciates good
Yeah,
food.
yeah.
He knows
Nice.
his food.
Don't let the sports writer
I've
background.
It's an easy
fool you.
transition
Listen,
to the food critic.
Yeah, get the sensor ready, but I've told you I like to spatchcock my turkey.
He does.
love it, yeah, love it.
We talked about that. I
We
think.
have.
Yeah,
We have.
So yeah.
And I always appreciate a good spatchcock technique on my bird. All right, it is time for the contest. And once again, we're going to be joined in a couple of minutes by the new executive chef here at Gulfstream, Jason Gluce. And I hope, Joe Beja, you're enjoying yourself and eating a nice plate of pasta wherever you are. All right, this week's Lunchbox Gulfstream 10 Pounds Sunday Brunch Giveaway. It's going to be a really tough one. And also, listen up, folks. We're changing the deadline to 10:30 a.m. tomorrow instead of noon because of the secondary tiebreaker race We're going to England. We're going to Royal Ascot for their feature race tomorrow. But here we go. You're going to have to email the answer to the restaurant trivia question along with your horse selections. There's going to be 2 of them for this week's Gulfstream contest race. And the Gulfstream contest race is going to be the 13th race. There's numbers 1 through 11. And it's the $95,000 Powder Break Stakes for filly and mares going 1 mile and 70 yards on the all-weather Tapeta track. Post time for that one is 7:07 p.m. So put Gulfstream 1 through 11. And then the tiebreaker race is going to be at Royal Ascot, the 3rd race, the big race on the card, the $1.2 million Queen Elizabeth II Jubilee Stakes going 6 furlongs on the turf. And it's a full field of 14 horses, luckily not 30, but 1 through 14. And post time scheduled for 10:45 a.m. for early risers. Again, so you got to email it to Mike Mayo Eats, the both numbers, either 1 through 11 at Gulfstream, 1 through 14 at Royal Ascot, and the restaurant answer to MikeMayoEats@gmail.com by 10:30 a.m. tomorrow. All things that are past posted. I know Defo might try to send in one at 11 o'clock after we know.
Always good to know the result.
Yeah.
10:30 a.m., folks. It's a little bit trickier. And again, if nobody picks the winner of either of the race, again, it goes to whoever finishes second, third, whoever has the highest finishing horse in each of the races. But hopefully we'll get somebody that picks the winner of the Gulfstream race. And good luck on you because those Ascot races have been really tough. All right, here we go. And yeah, if multiple entrants have all 3 elements right, there'll be a tiebreaker drawing on Tuesdays because we're going to have a replay on Monday. I'm going to be up in Tallahassee tending to my daughter. Here we go. For this week's restaurant, we're going to celebrate the Royal Ascot Meet and Jolly Old England with a local slice of the UK in South Florida. Here we go. You ready for the clues?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. This regally named establishment on University Drive in Sunrise serves traditional fare such as shepherd's pie, bangers and mash, and all manners of ales and lagers by the pint.
I knew you were going with. I remember this place as I drove by it. I can't remember the name.
Regally named
establishment. Don't.
Yeah,
We're gonna let people figure it
I
out.
know
All right.
what it looks like.
Clue number 2.
Get the name.
There have been at least 2 other South Florida bar restaurants with this exact same name, but different owners, and both of those are now gone. The first one was in Dania Beach and featured fine continental cuisine from a Swiss-born chef owner, and that's now an empty lot awaiting redevelopment. They knocked the thing down last week. The second one was in Pompano Beach, and I don't know what it is now, but it closed during the pandemic.
Okay.
So there was at one point 3 of them. Oh, here's Chef Jason is joining
Oh,
us.
beautiful.
And number 3, we've got soccer fans often congregate here at this one in Sunrise early in the morning to watch Premier League, Euro Cup, and World Cup matches. So there you have it. That is the Gulfstream restaurant clues for the week. Send the name of the restaurant along with the winner of the Gulfstream feature race, the 13th race, numbers 1 through 11, and the tiebreaker race, the 3rd race at Royal Ascot tomorrow morning, numbers 1 through 14. Get those entries into MikeMayoEats@gmail.com by 10:30 a.m. The Ascot race goes off at 10:45. All right, we now welcome to the Lunchbox. Gives me great pleasure to introduce a relatively new face here at Gulfstream Park. Met you at that Taste of the Track. That was wonderful a couple of weeks ago. The Taste of New York
that was
for the
fantastic.
Belmont
Oh
Stakes.
my God, that was amazing.
Executive chef, newly named here, Jason Gluce. Do I have the last name?
Gluce, yeah.
Gluce.
Yes, it is.
Welcome,
Thank you for
Jason.
having me.
Yeah,
This is excellent.
Awesome
Nice
to
spread.
see you. Yeah, Joe.
Beautiful spread.
All right, first of all, do you think Joe Beja is coming back from Italy, or is he just having
Yeah,
too much
who
fun?
knows? I think he's just teasing us everywhere he goes.
I think he's already bought a villa in
Yeah,
Tuscany,
he might have.
and we might never see him
Probably
again.
come about 15 pounds heavier, too, when he gets back from what I see.
He put his own number on 10 pounds. I
10
said, well,
pounds, he already said it.
how much before the trip? I
Yeah.
said, well, how much weight?
We might have to do an
He said-
over-under.
We will. We definitely will. We might do a weigh-in right
Yeah.
here on the show. It'll be a shocking turn if actually I weigh less than Joe Beja, but we got a long way to
I
go
like that
on that.
one.
All right, Jason, tell us a little bit about yourself, what your background is, what got you involved in the whole culinary scene
Yeah,
and
definitely.
cooking game, and where you've been before you got here.
Yeah, so excited to be here. And, in short, when I graduated high school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. So I went into the Army for a while with a couple of my friends. And when I got out, I went to college and thought I wanted to be a doctor.
Interesting.
Believe it or not. So I graduated, and about 2 days after I graduated,
Let me stop.
I graduated doing pre-med classes.
Where did you go to school?
Southern Illinois, Carbondale.
Oh,
Okay.
so
where were you born?
Salukis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chandale
Salukis.
Richardson. That's a
Yeah,
good one.
yeah. So I was born in Chicago.
Chicago guys.
You got that little bit of accent there.
Nice.
You know, Cubs fan, Bears fan, all the above.
Deep dish or tavern pizza?
Deep dish. Deep dish.
I like deep dish. He's weird about deep dish. I
I'm a
actually like
Brooklyn
deep dish.
guy, and I call it cheese casserole. I do like a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
those
yeah.
thin bar tavern pies in the Chicago
Yeah.
area. But all
I'm
right,
still
what's
trying
your,
to find a good pie down here.
what's
you
your
know,
pie
but,
of choice up there in terms of the deep dish?
You know, I'll just do deep dish with uncured pepperoni, and I'm good to go.
Okay.
Giordano's, give me
Giordano's,
Giordano's, and
How do you feel about
um,
Gino's East?
Actually, I just took the boys down there for the first time to Chicago, and we went to Gino's East, and I
Yeah.
almost had to say it was better than the Giordano. It was.
Wow,
It was
because
really?
that used to be
they
my stop
nailed
of
it.
choice.
They nailed it.
Back in the day when both me and Perk were on the, I guess we would be covering some NBA
Yeah,
playoff games,
Yep.
and I would always be in Chicago, the Bulls during the Jordan years.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah.
Gino's East was one of my spots.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's
Here's where I'm weird.
Yeah.
I like the Chicago hot dog better than the pizza.
Oh,
there
yeah,
you go.
no,
With the
Chicago-
tomato.
I'm a
Yeah.
huge Chicago hot dog
No,
fan.
Chicago
No
hot
ketchup.
dog, all beef, no ketchup.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
good Italian beef. I
Yep,
mean, you
right,
could name
exactly,
them all
all beef.
day.
There's
Yeah,
a couple of good Chicago dog joints in town here in Fort Lauderdale. There's a place called Hot Dog Heaven.
Hot
That's
Dog
run
Heaven
by a
does.
Okay, you
family.
know, we
Love it.
have a hot
Yep.
dog heaven in Orlando, so
Okay.
it must be a chain.
I don't know if it's
Or-
a chain.
or
It's
it might just be the
family
same name.
run. They might
Okay.
just have, I don't know.
Small
if-
place. You
but
probably love
very
it.
small place.
Yeah,
Barry
great.
Star. They've been in business almost 45, almost 50 years.
I'll have to check
And
that out.
it's a great place for the proper Chicago dogs. He actually plays a trick on people that, again, he uses the Vienna beef sausages. When you go in there, if somebody has the audacity to ask for ketchup on their Chicago dog, he has the squeeze bottle, and he'll go ketchup, and he squeezes it,
Oh man,
and this
well, that's what
string
you
comes
get.
out. It's like the prank
I like
ketchup
that.
bottle. I love
That's
that
good,
place.
that's good.
But I'll give you some tips on the deep dish pizza
The
after
pizza,
the show.
they're good pizza. We'll get
But
you. We'll get you.
all right, so after you ditched medical school,
Yeah,
was it-
so in 2 days later, I called my mom. I was in Illinois. I said, I'm driving down to San Francisco to go to culinary school. I
Oh,
had a
wow.
little S10 pickup, no air. Me and my buddy, two-seater, we drove down there. And, you know, I went to, she disowned me, you know, back in the day when I was growing up, you know, nobody looked at chefs. They didn't know what they were. You know, they're thinking cooks. You know, it was really until Emeril Lagasse came
Yeah.
aboard that people started respecting chefs. So I went out there, graduated culinary school at the California Culinary Academy, and I worked for Thomas Keller for a little bit out in the
That's not too bad of a name.
French
you worked
Laundry.
at the French Laundry?
I did my my externship there.
Mm.
And then Tracy Jardinier,
Fantastic.
who was a famous
Mhm.
chef out there, worked for her. I was a personal chef for a while for a couple singers out there,
Okay.
and did my own catering thing. And
Wow. So what got you,
know,
east?
so then I moved down to Tampa,
Okay.
and actually I got a job at Universal Studios. And once again, I must like the commute, so I was
Yeah.
commuting
Oh,
about
from
an hour.
Tampa to
I-
Orlando?
Yeah, in that
Oh,
little
geez.
S10 with no air, you know.
Not just a
Man.
chef, but drove
Yeah.
the iPhone. A true masochist is in
Man,
our
That's like
midst.
the worst highway in the country.
Oh, I know.
Oh.
But you know, it was I wanted to work for Emeril Lagasse because he was the
Yeah,
one,
man.
and I got a job right next to Emeril's Orlando and City Walk, and every week I'd go in and apply. Nothing. And one day they're like, you know what? The grill guy called out. You got a job. And
Oh,
boom,
wow.
they threw me at first day. You know,
Oh,
threw me
wow.
on the grill. No
Wow.
training, nothing. Long story short, I ended up running that restaurant.
Oh, wow.
Moved my way up to executive chef, and then he had a restaurant next door, an Asian restaurant called Chop Chop in
Okay.
the Lowe's Hotel. I ran that one, and then he had a restaurant down here in
Yeah.
Miami Beach at the Lowe's Hotel. I worked there for a while, New Orleans. So did about 10 years
Okay.
and left. Did 10 years with Darden Restaurants.
Oh, you did the big
own,
chain? Yeah.
did the big chain.
Season
Wanted to.
52 is very good. I
and
don't know if
that-
you had anything to do
That
with
was where I was the
Okay.
corporate
I knew
chef for
because you
season
have
52.
that sense of quality.
Yeah,
Yep.
season 52 is run
And-
more like a
It's just very
Not-
good.
chain. Like it's,
No, it's
Yeah.
look. Darden has all price
But they
points.
do a good
and
job.
I
different.
do-
You got
we
the
all
Olive Gardens
Yep.
and
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
different
critics like me
tiers.
knock them for some of the lower end brands, but
They
You know,
pay
Eddie-
for the higher end.
Eddie V is
Capital
really Eddie
Grill,
V's
yeah.
is just
Eddie V's next
totally respected
Capital Grill,
down
yeah.
here, and Seasons 52. I've never had a bad experience at the one at the gallery.
Yeah,
so,
and that's where I credit getting, wanting to do local and fresh and changing with the seasons. Why are you using asparagus 365 days a year if you,
Right.
when you got such other great vegetables out there
Yeah.
that are in season.
go seasonal. Yeah.
So
Right.
after that, my most recent job that I just left was Universal Studios, and I oversaw.
Oh, you never
all
worked
Oh,
at Disney?
Universal.
No, I didn't do
Good,
Disney.
because they're
I-
a Mickey
I-
Mouse
you know,
outfit.
it's either you're a Cubs fan or a White Sox fan, right? So you
Yeah,
have to
you're
choose one or
Universal.
the other.
Exactly. My daughter loves Universal. I'm a Tampa guy. I love Busch Gardens, and I like
Busch
avoiding
Gardens, yeah.
Orlando because it just makes me the whole
I'm
traffic
not a-
scene in
yeah,
Orlando.
I'm not a fan of Orlando.
You think Miami's bad? Oh my God, that place is it's
Well, it's
challenging. But all
But
right,
Universal,
so
the food scene's interesting at Universal. Busch Gardens, the food scene's sort of limited. But
Yeah, it's we've done a
Universal-
lot there.
like Disney, it's also sort of limited. Universal's different. I was there a few years ago, and I remember being actually pretty interesting as amusement parks go.
Great. Yeah, I did 6 years there, and I oversaw all the parks: Islands Adventure, Universal, City Walk, the water park, Volcano Bay.
Volcano Bay. that place is
So I
great.
did culinary for all that. Plus, they're opening a new theme park, Epic Universe. So I started
Oh wow!
the
Wow.
opening process with that, and
So,
so that was most
obviously
recently.
you've been at some high volume,
Yep.
very big places. What brought you to Gulfstream Park?
I'll be honest, it was the family. They wanted to be closer to the
Ocean.
to the beach. To be
Yeah.
completely honest, the boys love
I
to
can
surf. Not that there's
almost
much
see it from
surfing in.
No.
And actually, if you look that way, that's where I live. We splurged
Oh,
this
that's
year. And,
funny.
we're selling
right by
our
the
house
track.
in Orlando. So I was
Great.
like, you know what, we'll get a condo on the
All
beach
right,
for 1 year
nice.
and let the
There you
boys
go.
live the life. So
And-
really, that's what it was. I was looking to get to Miami in the
Nice.
area, and did a lot of interviews and had some opportunities out in Baltimore, and just this was really a great
a good fit.
opportunity on something different that I wasn't used to. I wanted to try something different,
Yeah.
and I mean it's been great. It's been
And you
it's
couldn't
been
ask for a better
fantastic
boss
here.
Well, I'm gonna
than
say Joe
Beja,
really,
Yeah,
I
who is
feel
really
like gets it.
driven by quality and hospitality.
Exactly.
And, so that anybody who cares about those
When he's
two
also
things,
open to
Exactly.
creativity, he was big in trying to revamp the menu
Yeah,
and do
yeah,
different
yeah.
things.
He's got a lot of dishes
Now-
on the menu. He'll probably be mad when I tell him I'm going to take a couple of them off, but that's all right. Yeah.
we'll leave that for you two to hash
Yeah.
out. When did you officially start here?
So I started May 1st.
Okay.
Nice.
So sort of threw me into it. It was the Kentucky Derby, and
Right.
we're very
Okay.
busy.
Yeah.
And then
That's
they,
exactly want to start.
you
If
know,
you started a New Orleans restaurant,
Yeah.
you want to start during the week of
Yeah.
Mardi Gras.
Then they
and
flew
if
me
you
out to the
started a
Preakness.
racetrack-
Oh, nice.
you know, we
Yeah.
did the Preakness.
Nice.
So right into the fire.
Well, let's take another break. You can stick around a little
Okay,
bit longer,
excellent.
and we'll talk about what's on tap for the future here at the culinary scene at Gulfstream Park and 10
Fantastic.
Palms. And before we do that, let me just put in the good word about our friends at Tropical Acres Steakhouse. 75 years of quality and hospitality. Studio Alley family they know what they're doing. Again, any place in South Florida that has been around
Oh, good,
since
yeah.
1949, they know what they're doing. And they've got the great Twin Lobster Special now ongoing all summer long. 2 steamed live North Atlantic lobsters, a pound to a pound and a quarter each, with a salad and a side dish for $39. You can't beat that deal. Plus, tonight, you can still get your happy hour deals Monday through Friday in the bar, 4:30 to 6:30, half price on every drink in the house. I was in there the other night celebrating my birthday with my brother, and we got those Belvedere martinis, $8 each during happy hour.
But I love the happy hour goes straight through to Friday because a
Yeah.
lot of the time they'll chintz you and do it like
And by-
Monday through Thursday.
Right, no, and Friday is when you really need it. And so,
Yeah.
again, give them a call, 954
Here's some of the stuff's going on with Perk off the air. I think Perk's gonna run there after this freaking show.
954-989-2500 is the phone number for reservations. They're so old school, they don't even take reservations online. You got to give them a call, 954-989-2500. They're at 2500 Griffin Road, right there off of I-95 in Old Fort Lauderdale, Dania Beach. Tropical Acres is closed on Sundays. They have a butcher shop if you want to pick up some meat to throw on the grill at home, and tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
All right, it's Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. We are at Gulfstream Park's 10 Palms. New executive chef is with us, and we'll talk more with him. Chris Perkins with us. Defo's trying to win some money. We'll be back from 10 Palms here at Gulfstream Park on Mike Mayo's Lunchbox after this.
Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the blackened grilled wings, and of course the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. From a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar, a great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, and also now with a new location on Las Olas Boulevard. Those are my spots. Upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, we're back on the Lunchbox. We're at 10 Palms with the new executive chef here at Gulfstream Park, Jason Blues. And I'm talking with my mouth full as usual.
It's not unusual.
Let's talk a little bit about what's ahead now for Gulfstream and 10 Palms. What do you have in sight? Any changes, or you just kind of keep things and do some minor tweaks?
No, so I'm still getting my feet wet, and I'm learning what our busy season, what our off season. So for what I'm understanding is we're starting to head into a little bit of the off season. So we're gonna shorten the menu a little bit, but we're gonna do some minor tweaks when we do that, add some different ingredients. But come November, when we get into peak, we're gonna revamp the menu. Joe and I are looking at different things. We already have tours set up in local farms around the area, looking at produce, looking at cattle. It's unbelievable, the amount of great quality that they have here.
Down here from
they're
Homestead.
it's
up north,
unbelievable.
north of West Palm Beach. There's some amazing farmland. And believe it or not, besides the cattle, and of course we think of fish and seafood, but we're learning that there's like oyster beds are now being cultivated along some of the cooler inlets and things along the intracoastal, and there's now in like Indian River and Sebastian Inlet, some really high quality oysters, which just blows me away. And no, it's an exciting time to be a chef if you like the whole locavore movement.
And with the buffets, that's going to give us a chance to do something different every week, and just introduce something different. We're going to keep our staples. We have a lot of regulars here, and
keep the omelet guy. Is it Eddie?
See right there, the omelet station. You got it.
So great. That's
So you're obviously head of 10 Palms. Are you doing? I know, but from what I remember, Joe saying you're executive chef of Gulfstream Park. So what other responsibilities do you have for just the whole
just everything
grounds?
Basically here in the grounds here? We're going to be looking at all the restaurants downstairs and overseeing that. And then, like I said, flying out to the Preakness. We'll be flying out to California in September and looking at those menus and doing the races out there. But it's definitely exciting. And And we want to bring, the consumer is so educated now, and they want to know where the food's coming from, and they expect quality food, and that's what we're here to give them.
That's what you'll deliver.
Yeah.
So, Jason, let me ask you this: when you're cooking at Universal, it's a wide range of ages, right? You've got for kids
demographic, yes.
Yeah, this is pretty much adults, right? At Gulfstream, how does that change your philosophy, and are the options better or a little more limited here?
No, I think the options are the same. We can do the children, we can do the adults. We just did Father's Day, and then we're looking at it. We did a nice little spread for the children, because they wouldn't know they had that.
Up here at 10 Palms, you do.
They actually get a lot of
very
families. You get a lot of
friendly.
families.
Yeah.
Right.
So, we look at the crowd that's coming in, we look at the holiday, the event, then you do have your specials like the Taste of the Track, where we know it's adult only. So we can play a little bit more and maybe put some liquor in some of the food and, taco and tequila coming up.
Right.
So we're looking
and
at
I love the special events, the rotation that Joe is.
How involved are you with those? Because the Taste of the Track was, and Joe's watching, even though we're going to scold you because you should not be watching in freaking Italy. But it's nighttime over there. So maybe he's slowing
Dinner
down
time,
for the day. But appreciate Joe, the man himself, checking out. The Taste of the Track was fantastic.
Excellent.
It was, and I've been to the
I
last
love those
four.
heroes,
but the New York one,
that was great. Touch.
and I had lots to do with Joe, Mr. New York. But it feels like, from what he said, you were highly involved too. You guys hit it out of the freaking.
Well, that's great, and I believe in the collaboration. And I emailed Joe and I said, hey, I want you with us and all the chefs we got together. And I'm big at just making a list and just chipping away at it, and big into the visuals. We had the gyro, so we're out there cooking it, so you can smell it, you can see it. And,
having the push cart for the hot dogs,
and
having the
Just
spit
this-
with the
the shawarma cart for the Euro.
And that was just all these little touches. I love the events. I love
the
when
little
you
box was with the
For the
Chinese
cold
food in
noodles,
it.
The Caribbean one that we've had a couple of times is always great, because it's really getting that local flavor,
Yes.
and really inspiring to see all the the response of the locals to some of the dishes from Haiti and Jamaica. So keep it up. We're gonna see any cheese cast. I mean, deep dish pizza.
We'll try. Well, Joe, he's got the New York, so we might have to battle that one.
It'll be a battle. Maybe he'll yield and let you do a little Polish kielbasa.
Yeah, there we
or
go.
something.
Yeah, a little sausage.
Sausage. All right. Well, Jason,
Jason, welcome. We're happy
It's
to
been
have you.
it was a pleasure.
real pleasure to have you on and joining us today. Best of luck. I'm sure we'll be seeing you around.
We'll be seeing you
We'll
around.
be here every
Appreciate it.
Friday and sampling any new dishes. If you want
Yes,
any
if you want us to
feedback,
be your, we're
I don't
guinea
know
Yeah,
if
pigs.
little
We're
guinea
open to
pigs.
it.
Well, there we
No
go.
problem being a guinea pig.
and I won't put it on the group. I don't know if you're familiar with the Let's Eat South Florida group, where we simulcast this show every day. I started it in conjunction with the Sun Sentinel when I was the food critic there. It's only grown to 156,000
That's it?
members now. They can be a little bit insane,
Very
but
volatile.
they are passionate about food. And the nice part is, like you were saying, people expect more, even at a
Yes.
racetrack setting.
Yes.
These folks on the
They're
group,
very
it's
well
great
informed.
because they're well informed. They love checking out new places. They love adventurous dining. And a lot of them are degenerate horse players too, because we're here every week. We do this 10 Palms. All right, not
It's a good
degenerate.
excuse.
But we have been running this contest every week. It's been going on for over a year and a half. It's a miracle, because when I first started trying to explain to both Defo and Dave Joseph down in publicity, my former colleague at the Sun Sentinel, like how this contest was going to work, they were just like saying, huh? Nobody's going to say. But these people, I give them credit. They know food. They can handicap horse races, and they send it in every week, the contest entries.
That's
and
great.
again, we got a bunch of you who have not redeemed your prizes. We're going to be doing
Well, we're
another
going to do a brunch bash.
a lunchbox brunch bash, where we can hopefully get a lot of winners in to redeem their prizes, and also open it up at a discounted rate for the general public and
fans.
out there watching. And you could kind of sample some of Chef Jason's new creations on the Sunday brunch buffet. We're going to be doing that later in July. Don't have the exact date yet, but it's either going to be the 21st or the 28th of July. We'll let you know as soon as Joe gets back, if he gets back. Miss you, Joe.
He's in Tuscany, Florence right now.
Yep.
On his veranda, he said. So he's
Okay.
getting ready for
Oh, that's
dinner. So
good.
that's why he dipped in.
I hope
to
he's
join us.
sipping a nice red, maybe a Brunello, a little
Oh,
bit of
yeah.
a Super Tuscan.
Yes, I just saw Joe Shad of the Palm Beach Post is touring the Amalfi Coast.
Ooh.
I told him, enjoy a bottle of Brunello.
I hate
Yes.
everybody. I'm dealing with flood damage for the
Yeah,
second year in a row.
You're worse off than me.
They said it was once 1,000-year flood last year.
Yeah,
And then
I remember
14
that.
months
Yeah, we
again.
got to rename it.
14 months. No, I said you can call me the 2,000-year-old man.
Exactly.
Because
Hey,
it's happened
We're,
twice.
we're covered for the next 999
Exactly.
days. That's it. Pay it forward.
Is this our last break
Yes.
coming up? Well, then let's take it. We'll let Chef Jason get back to his chef duties, and we'll be back with more and wrap up the week on the Lunchbox after these words. Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me. I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Best restaurants in South Florida? Casa D'Angelo is always at the top of my list. First-class dining, top-flight service, elegant atmosphere, and chef-founder Angelo Ilia is legendary. The flagship in Fort Lauderdale has been serving the finest Italian cuisine since 1997, with other locations in Boca Raton and Aventura. As Angelo himself says, they have an unwavering commitment to unparalleled quality with meticulous attention to details. It's so good, with house-made pastas, pristine seafood, unique meats like elk chops and bison, and seasonal specialties including fragrant fresh truffles from Italy. All locations open 7 days for dinner. Reservations recommended. For a special occasion or any occasion, Casa D'Angelo. Tell them Mike Mayo sent you. If you're looking for an exquisite sushi experience, Kaizen Sushi Bar and Grill in Fort Lauderdale is the place to go. 5640 North Federal Highway, just north of Commercial Boulevard. Chef owner Hui Lam, he's a sushi savant, slicing and serving pristine fish and seafood flown in directly from Japan and around the world. Nigiri, sashimi, special rolls, and omakase dinners. He's ruined me from going anywhere else. It's that good. Open 7 days for dinner and also for lunch. Even if you're not a sushi fan, they have great cooked options, including steaks, chops, rice and noodles, and other Japanese dishes. It's fantastic. For reservations and information, go to kaizenflorida.com. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk, and soon in Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for a Sunday brunch, and Taco Tuesdays with their $4 premium tacos, including their new birria tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, It's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. Tell them Mike Mayo, the Lunchbox, sent you. All right, we're back on the Lunchbox. We got Defo back with us to wrap up the week, and I wanted to get in. We've got Chris Perkins here. He is
Mr. Miami Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins columnist
Mr. Miami Dolphins.
for the South Florida Sun.
So-
The preeminent columnist on the Fins.
Of course, my first question for him is going to be about Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. What did you make of? Did you see this report that not only did he skip the mandatory workouts,
He's in the
but
ayahuasca.
there's
thing.
a report out there that Nick Wright of Fox Sports put out that he was on another ayahuasca or some sort of drug retreat in some foreign country to get in touch with his inner Achilles, I guess.
Yeah, good for Aaron. Good
Defo
for
needs
Aaron. I like this because I think that a lot of these mini camps and OTA, the off-season stuff, it's overrated. It's the coach's way of babysitting the players, right? That we
Is that
know
really what it is?
Yeah,
You know where they are?
we know that, right? They're going to be here for the next week, so they can't be out getting in trouble, so we can babysit. Do whatever you need to do, Aaron Rodgers. Do in the off season. Do whatever you need to
You
do.
say that as somebody who's secretly rooting for the Dolphins to win the AFC East?
No, I say that as somebody who thinks that a lot of this off-season stuff is just a waste of time. It's just a waste of time. I'll tell you this, though. My views on this skew to the abnormal. So we're at the owners' meetings in Orlando in February or March, whenever it was, and a bunch of us are casually talking to Chris Greer, the general manager of the Dolphins, and his wife, Mike McDaniel, the coach of the Dolphins, and his wife, blah, blah, blah. And I make the remark, I think they ought to put a cap on the amount of hours these guys can work in a day, these 16-hour days. I'm like, from hour 12 to 16, your mind is mush. You're not really
Coaches and
retaining
execs, you
anything.
mean?
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah.
And Chris Greer laughs at me, just laughs in my face. And Greer's wife goes, I don't know how you're going to keep this man from working 16 hours a day. I'm like,
I thought she was going to say, I don't know how you're going to keep your job.
Right.
Questions like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
she hopes he does. By the way, his brother with the San Jose
Yeah, Mike
Sharks,
Greer.
they have the #1 pick in the NHL draft.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's
San Jose
exciting.
Sharks.
It's going to be at the Sphere in Las Vegas.
It is.
The
It
big
is.
Dome. Don't ask me how I
Some
know
kid
that.
from Boston College, I think, is like the number one guy.
I think, yeah. It's
Far and
like
away,
it's supposed to be an overwhelming choice.
All right, so now that we've dismissed the entire offseason as silliness, which is what I thought, and when I was covering the team
Yes,
a million years ago,
Yeah.
they didn't have as many of these things.
Right.
We would get as writers. It was kind of before free agency really took hold, and I would just leave town like Joe Beja for the entire month of May, and I would go hop
Was
around
that
Europe.
a shot or a praise?
No,
No, he's paying homage.
all
He's
right,
jealous.
It was only 2 weeks, and the man works.
And
He's
he's
the
paying
hardest working
jealous.
man.
We're just
We
jealous.
love
We
Joe.
all love
Right.
Italy.
It's just I'm seething with jealousy.
That's,
The same way that
this
anytime I
sounds
mention
great.
Carlos
That trip.
Frias' name, they say
Oh,
two-time James Beard Award chef. Joe Beja is going to be back next week, and
Yes.
we will be as well. All right, but about the Dolphins,
Yeah.
what do you? Well, we have the 2 in the contract and blah blah blah.
All right, so Dolphins are in an interesting spot. I'll start off from the back and work my way forward. The team, as they're constructed, I think that right now, before seeing them in training camp, before the regular season starts, I think their ceiling is 10 wins.
That's crazy.
They could-
Ceiling is
It's a little short there, Chris.
It is, but they have a lot of losses, a lot
Chris,
of
you're a little
personnel
short.
losses.
What are we going to do about this? Next
Listen,
Monday?
Listen, you lost Christian Wilkins, you lost Rob Hunt, you lost Xavier Howard, even though his
He's been losing it.
Yeah. Andrew Van Ginkel, Deshaun Elliott. You have some major losses. You had a good offseason as the Dolphins, but it was all reactive. And a lot of the key guys that they got are 30 and over. Calais Campbell, great pickup. He's 37. OBJ, great pickup, 31, 3 straight injury-shortened seasons. Shaq Barrett, 34. And so Jordan Poyer, or maybe Shaq Barrett's 32, Jordan Poyer, 34. So you keep going down the list, and the Dolphins have problems with these older players.
Healthy, yeah.
You're right. They have problems with health. So let's be realistic here. You picked up a bunch of 30-somethings. Are they going to give you 17 quality games and be healthy in December and January? Probably not.
Yeah.
So I hate to
But
everybody
okay,
was
let me
optimistic here too.
Let me
What-
be the
say that.
random devil's advocate because I'm usually right with you. I think that's my problem with your friend Chris Greer is between the draft and free agency, he gets a lot of guys that are oft injured. He did it again. Chop, Mr. Chop, is hurt a lot. Like, so I actually usually agree with what you said, but from a talent standpoint, right? Because that was the big thing. You and Dave Hyde wrote a lot of this where they lost everyone. From a talent standpoint, outside of Wilkins, because he had become Pro Bowl-esque defensive tackle, everyone they lost, I feel like they upgraded, to be brutally honest. Where Xavier Howard was last year to Kendall Fuller is now. Kendall Fuller is as good, if not better, because again, Xavier Howard wasn't playing.
Right.
And when he played, he was hurt. He looked very hurt. Fuller hasn't had those exact issues that Howard had, right? Okay. Offensive line, they went and picked up some people that, again, Robert Hunt, who hadn't had injury issues, then last year had a lot of injury issues. Connor Williams, same thing, a lot of injury issues. So, what was it, Feeney? Whoever they brought in is a guy that actually hasn't had really injury problems.
Aaron Brewer and yeah.
So, to me, again, the health is the problem, and I agree. All the guys outside of Fuller are injury guys. But at least from a talent standpoint, which was supposedly everyone's fear, outside of Wilkins, I feel like they did actually Poyer's as good as Elliott, like especially for picking up Fuller. Now Poyer can just roam and hit people.
A deep dive in the Dolphins. My question is this, Perk.
Yep.
Has Tyreek Hill fathered any more children in the offseason?
We don't know yet. We don't know yet. So it's always interesting with
Has anybody
Tyreek.
tried to torch his houses
know.
or
He-
living
yeah,
quarters? Or
He has not had any social media influencers practicing football drills in his backyard.
what happened with this guy? I mean,
Was that issue
Nothing
since
happened.
junior
This is
college?
Tyreek.
This is
This
him.
is Tyreek.
It's
This
why he
is
was at Oklahoma
Tyreek.
State.
yeah.
This is Tyreek Hill, and this is kind of what you're in bed with when you get in bed with Tyreek, is that there's all this off-field drama.
Right.
And as good as he is on-field, he's
He
a
wasn't
risk
so
off the
good in
field.
the clutch time in the last few games because he was clearly distracted by several.
Well,
plays.
he was injured, but he's got a lot of drops.
passes.
He's had a lot of drops. That's all year through in the big
Yep,
games,
yep,
Kansas City, Philly. Like Tyreek has a lot of drops also, but Tyreek is still where it all starts and ends for this offense. And so when you talk about the offseason, and they got ahead of the situation with Jalen Waddle by signing him, but you're in trouble with Tua because Tua's obviously apparently taking business personally. Seems like he's in his feelings about not getting this contract extension, and
which is a pretty normal human response.
well,
right?
yeah, it's. I think it's being overly sensitive. You're a pro athlete. This is what happens in contract negotiations. Maybe some stuff was said and got back to Tua, and it hurt his feelings. I don't know that. For a fact.
Okay,
But that's kind of what I think. But the bigger problem is Tyreek Hill. And Tyreek, out of one side of his mouth, this is typical Tyreek. He talks out of both sides of his mouth. So out of one side of his mouth, he says, it doesn't help the Dolphins for me to be greedy. And then I said, but Tyreek, do you feel like you should be paid as a top 5 receiver? Oh, all day.
Well,
Top
course.
5 all day.
Yeah, of course.
And so, okay, well, who else is coming up? CeeDee Lamb is going to get paid. Tyreek is down to number 4 now.
Yeah.
And Jamar Chase still has to get paid.
Yep.
T. Higgins still has to get paid.
Yep.
Brandon Ayuk still has to get paid.
Yep.
By the time the season starts,
He'll be
Tyreek
like
could be
8.
down to number 8, right?
Yeah.
And then what? Like
Then you
can't-
have an unhappy Tyreek
right,
along with an
exactly.
unhappy Tua.
Exactly.
And that spells some unhappy game
There you-
results.
there-
Issues,
that-
yeah.
That's what I was working
So is that
forward
why you
to.
get the 10? Is
No,
because you're not,
I have
just
the
look
10
at the
because
AFC?
I just look at the Dolphins. I
Yeah.
look at what they do.
Yeah.
1-6 against playoff teams last year. 4-10.
that's right. You were the
in December and
naysayer all
January.
along.
No,
Yeah,
he's very
all
honest,
along.
yeah.
I'm like,
I love that about
they
him.
don't. I've said this. I've written this. I like Mike McDaniel. I like this team, but they have disappointed
holes.
and underachieved.
No, that Tennessee game. Oh, still
Right. I
haunted
mean,
by that.
how do you not have a playoff victory with this much talent? 2 years, you don't have a playoff
So
victory.
now you're saying he is going to be
So what
squarely
does
in
it
the
say
hot
for
seat?
them? Because
Wait.
you can't spend all this money and build toward another 9 or 10 win season.
You
Like
cannot.
that can't
You
happen.
cannot. I already wrote before the playoff game against Kansas City. I wrote the hot seat column that if Mike McDaniel does not win
At
this
least I'd
playoff
have to,
game,
yeah.
then he should be on the hot seat next season. I said his seat should be
Yeah.
very warm
Yeah.
because look, if
What
you
else?
can't, you have two playoff losses, and if you start off like 4-4. Well, now you're going to be looking at them like, dude, how are you going to get that home playoff game? Now
Yeah.
you're going to be in the cold, on the
Yeah,
road,
again.
at Buffalo, right, at Cincy, at Kansas City. Like, that can't happen with this much money and this much talent.
Nope.
So you're going to have to reevaluate. If you don't win a playoff game this year, you're going to have to reevaluate. You're going to have to make some hard decisions.
Here's what I see. Typical Dolphins thing. they'll end up having a middling season. They'll fire McDaniel. McDaniel will get another shot somewhere and
He'll
then
kill
end up
it.
winning like 5 Super Bowls in the course of his career.
Well, let me tell you this along those lines, and I bring this up too. The Dolphins had some good coaches on staff, right? Todd Bowles.
Campbell, I know.
Todd Bowles has won a playoff game. Dan Campbell has won a playoff game. Zach Taylor has won a playoff game.
Yeah.
Like, you had these guys on your staff, and you let them all walk.
Yeah.
You let them all walk.
That's my thing is I don't blame McDaniel. Look, again, it's just interesting that Greer built this roster, and there's a lot of talent, but there's a lot of holes, and then McDaniel is going to take the heat for it. Like to me, there's only so much McDaniel can do with this roster. It's built for highlights and ESPN top 10s. It's not built for winning playoff. It's not a playoff roster. It's a highlight roster that's fun to watch and play video games. It's not made for. Can you gut out a season? Again, there's like 10 guys that are always hurt on this freaking roster.
That's Mike McDaniel's fault also.
Yeah.
And I had asked people this question, and they told me it's apples to oranges. I compared the Dolphins to the Panthers. I think the Huberdeau for Kachuk was one of the great trades in South Florida sports history because of what
they
he
changed
did,
culture.
Right? Yes, you went from a President's Trophy, high-scoring finesse team, a style that couldn't win in the playoffs. So you make this huge trade, this go for broke trade, and it's paid off. Now you're more physical, right? I think you led the league in penalty minutes this year. You have more of an edge. You got an attitude with Kachuk. And so I was wondering, is there a Dolphins trade? Because I think the same thing about the Dolphins offense. That offense is not built to win. It's built to score touchdowns against bad teams and get on ESPN. Again, 1-6 against playoff teams. And I think in the 2 years under McDaniel, they're 4-12. Against playoff teams. But last year against playoff teams, those 7 games, 1-6, you averaged 16 points per game.
Yeah, they weren't scoring.
Where's that high-scoring offense?
These are some
I think it's
concerning numbers. Meanwhile, it's June, gentlemen.
Enough
of the football.
You should have asked me that.
You brought
We
it up.
have a Game 6 potential Stanley Cup clinching game tonight in Edmonton, where we'll be eating caribou burgers
That's right,
and
baby.
poutine
That's
and
right.
whale blubber on the side. And I hope they come in. Before we go, I got to put in a reminder. Oysters and bubbles. We love our friends at Even Keel Fish Shack. We had a great time yesterday with Brad. August 10th, we're going to be doing the Pearl Jam by the Sea special event in conjunction with our friends at Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival. And again, go online to vlfoodwine.com to get your tickets now. It's going to be unlimited oysters, raw oysters, unlimited sparkling wine. If you want to do a VIP upgrade, you get a seat at the bar and an entree from their brunch menu and a little split of Tattinger champagne along with the unlimited sparkling wine. It's a great deal. Go on to eventbrite.com and do a search for Even Keel Oysters, or go to vlfoodwine.com and get your tickets now. Another thing you might want to do this weekend is go to our friends at Batch, New Southern Kitchen and Tap, 525 North Federal Highway, for your weekend brunch with the unlimited drinks. And they've got the great whiskeys and flavored things like the pecan-infused whiskeys. Brandon and Kevin are really killing it. And it seems like every hour on the hour now on the group, people are raving about their latest visits because they also are masters of hospitality. And finally, J&C Oyster, 2035 Harrison Street in Hollywood. We'll be doing the ribbon cutting later on in July on a Wednesday. I believe it's the Wednesday the 17th. Yes. And again, they are open Wednesday through Sunday. They have a great happy hour there with some really innovative quality seafood and other treats, J&C Oysters. All right, that's going to do it for this week.
Come on, Panthers.
Defo keeps swinging. I think he's 0 for the day. I can't lose right now, but I might quit until the Panther game. It's going to be a fun night. Everybody have a great, safe weekend. We'll see you again Tuesday for the big pizza judging with the Sun Sentinel at Bubbles and Pearls in Wilton Manors. 6 finalists, 6 slices of cheese pizza. That's going to be deciding the judges component, blind tasting for the Sun Sentinel's best pizza competition in South Florida. Looking forward to that and seeing Chef Josie and my former colleague Rod Stafford Hagwood is going to be taking part. He's always a hoot. He's so I guess very quiet.
Yes,
and
low
down.
key, right. You never hear. You never know Rod's in the room.
All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. Until Tuesday, enjoy every sandwich.